There we go. Ate, en, ify, and ice. Yesterday we saw the suffix ate, which creates words like activate, appreciate, regulate, derivated from a noun. Accents become accentuate. Benefit becomes beneficiate. Circular becomes circulate. Decor becomes decorate, right? So there are families, word families that correspond to or words that correspond to two different word families, and we get to know familiar with them, okay? The second one was the verb en. Short becomes shorten, white becomes whiten, black becomes blacken, and high becomes heighten. And yesterday we didn't do examples, so that's what I want you to do right now. Help me. Can you give me an example with shorten?
Who?
You.
Oh. It can be when the clothes are too big for you, you need to shorten them.
Good, okay, very nice. When the clothes are too big for you, you need to shorten them. I like it. I like it, very good. What about whiten? It's, do you have an example with whiten?
I don't know. When your clothes has some, I don't know. When you want to make white clothes, I suppose.
Are you going to make white clothes? In what case would you like to make white clothes or the clothes white?
Maybe one is a little bit yellow or something.
Excellent. When it has yellow, let me give you a new word. Yellow. Do you know what is a stain? It's
Stain. No.
Look at this.
Oh.
These are stains. Right? This is vocabulary that you are trying to find. Can you repeat what is to whiten, or when do we need to whiten our clothes?
When you have clothes with stain, with a stain.
Exactly. With
you
stains.
Need to whiten.
Very good. That's the one. When you have clothes that you need to, that have a stain, yellow stains, you need to whiten them. Very good. Right? So let's go now with Sophie. Blacken. When do you need to blacken things?
Also, you can use it when you are talking about clothes. For example, jeans that are black and with the time get gray because
exactly.
It loses color.
Very good. Let me help you with that vocabulary. It gets worn out. What is worn out? When something worn out jeans. When your jeans are old, they lose color. This is when they are worn out. So can you repeat your idea?
When jeans worn out,
Mhm.
you need to blacken them.
Excellent. Black and what?
Blacken them.
Them. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Right? And the other one, heighten. Heighten is a little bit different. Heighten something. It's a C1 vocabulary. And it reads, if a feeling or an effect heightens or something heightens it, it becomes stronger or increases. But look at it's so interesting. This is a feeling or an effect. Okay. So it says here, tension has heightened after the recent bomb attack. Tension is a feeling. Tension has intensified after the recent bomb attack. The campaign is intended to heighten public awareness of the disease. See? Yesterday, I put the example of the antenna, but I think it's not that common. Eh? As you can see, it's more common to speak about a feeling, to speak about something that happens inside you. Fears, activity, sense of well-being. This is very interesting. Who can give me an example with heighten?
When you eat spinach, it makes you feel hated.
Okay, when you read?
Eat.
When you eat.
Mhm.
When you eat
Spinach.
spinach, it makes you feel
hated.
Okay, this is interesting because you don't feel heightened. You heighten a feeling, but this is not you. Let's talk about, for example, what kind of feeling can heighten. Let's continue with the example of the spinach. Is there anything that the spinach help doing in your body?
Well, yeah, they have a lot of vitamins, but something in specific. They can
The
help
iron.
you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what does the iron do?
Iron makes the red cells that the red cells have a better transportation through the veins or arteries. So so you can have more oxygen and you can do more things and everything.
Then transportation is a thing that heightens. The transportation of red cells.
Exactly. So maybe the example is spinach. When you eat spinach, your strength is your strength in hiding, or because it's the feeling you feel stronger. So you feel stronger, so that they feel that is hiding.
Exactly. The strength heightens, as you say. Can you repeat, Fer? What were you saying?
Or also it can be the body. When you eat spinach, the body is heightened.
Exactly. Heightens, but it's not the body. It's more like the when you were speaking about the what the spinax produce in your body.
Okay.
You know, so for example, to accelerate the transportation of red cells, that can probably be the heightens, transportation of red cells.
Okay.
Heightens, the other one that we were speaking about, strength. But you know what? I have a question because it's not something that happens so intense. Yes, it improves. And yes, this is better, but I don't think heightens apply because heighten is like speaking about intensity. And red cells are not transported intensely. Do you agree? So no, this is not the one. We need to find something that happens in an intense way. Who else have another example? Because in this case, it's not that intense. Look at the example, tension. We have here. To make it wider, to make it broader. Heightened activity. This is not an easy verb.
Maybe when the people goes to the coach and the coach say that he can make them feel a heightened level of happiness after the speech.
Good. Yes. Did you say a coach, like a person who trains you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and people feel heightened after the speech. Or no, have a heightened, can you repeat your example? A heightened level of what? Of
Happiness.
The level of happiness can be heightened, definitely. Very good. The level of happiness, the level of anxiety can be heightened. The amount of English words that you dominate can be heightened. You know, very nice. So it's a feeling or an effect. Not necessarily a feeling, guys, but yeah, it's very commonly used. This is the chunk we are talking about. Very good. Very good. So as you can see, this particular word was a little bit new, right? There are a lot of words like that, and I want you to observe something important about these words. These are words derived from descriptions, different categories. Such as dimensions and shape. Light and color, density and composition, and other types of physical. Yeah, we are representing physical change with the suffix n. For example, let's talk about color. We have dimension and shape. We have lengthen, which is very similar to heighten. Lengthen, in this case, is to say the following. Help me with the definition. It's
to become longer, to make something longer. The afternoon shadows lengthen. Yeah. Lengthen something. I need to lengthen this skirt.
You know what is a skirt, right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's say that the skirt is very, very short. Then you will need to lengthen it, which is extend it. And that is very interesting because it comes from a description originally that is not similar to the word. Length is about how long something is. Therefore, lengthen is to become longer. Do you remember the measurement words? Right? Can you tell me what are the measurement words?
It's about height.
Exactly. Yes. Let's review these words. So height. Height is about how what something is.
How long?
How long? How long? No, this is length. Length is about how long. But height?
How tall is a person?
How tall exactly? How tall? Very good. Another one, which one is for how wide? And we have how heavy. We also have how tall, long, wide, heavy. That's it. I'm forgetting one, but in a moment you remember, you'll remind me. So how long is length? How tall is height? How wide? Who remembers? Okay, this is
Is
a
weight?
challenge. How kind you are confusing heavy.
How big?
How big? No, that's a different question. Measurement word. When you're talking about how heavy is weight. When you talk about how wide something is width. Is this new for you? Or have you seen this word? Okay, this is new. I get it, I get it. Width, length, height, weight. I am missing one. Height, length. Memory. What happened to my memory? Measurements. Length. Height, weight, depth. This is the one I was forgetting. When you are asking how deep. here you have it, guys. Take notes. Much better, right?
Teacher,
Yes.
can you remember me what's the meaning of the bottom?
Remind me.
Remind me.
Remind me. The bottom. Okay, the top and the bottom. The top. Let's imagine a glass of water, right? If you have ice, it's going to float on the top. Okay, but if you put salt, it's going to go to the bottom. The bottom, the top, the contrary.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. So the verbs that we are talking about is transforming these nouns, length, height, weight, depth, and width, into verbs. And here you have height into a verb. We get
heighten,
heighten. Good. Length into a verb.
Lengthen.
Good. Width into a verb.
Within.
Exactly. Width. Weight into a verb.
Waiting.
Waiting. And depth into a verb.
deepen,
Without the pronunciation, the.
depten,
Excellent. Depth. These are the words that we are talking about. Good. Very, very good. These are words coming from dimensions and shapes. Talking about light and color, we have, for example, if something is not bright, if something is not dark, or the colors that you mentioned, you get. If you want to make something bright, you need to
lighten.
lighten, exactly. Lighten or brighten. That can be another one. Lighten. If something is not dark enough, you need to
Darken.
darken it. Exactly. Easy as that. Density and composition. We have, for example, if the density of something, bread, for example, if you buy bread today, tomorrow, if you don't eat it, tomorrow the bread is going to become hard. So what happens to the bread? It's going to
Harden.
excellent. Very good. If you have a piece of chicken breast, right? And you want to cook it, first you need to make it soft by pressing it, by heating it. You need to make it become soft. So you need to
Soften.
the chicken breast. And with thick. Who know what is thick? Nobody knows what is thick. Okay, thick. How can I describe thick? Thick, 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 thick. There are two ways to say thick. A thick book, let's say, versus thin. This is a thick, no. What about this one? This book is thick. And this book is thin. As you can see, the book has a lot of pages. That's because it has a wider dimension than the other book. A very thick book. But also, the adjective thick can be used for substances. Yes, for example, marmalade. Marmalade is thick. It's a liquid. Marmalade is not solid, but it's not water either. So these type of substances are thick. Like, for example, marmalade, gel for the hair, hand sanitizer. These are thick substances. Right? Oil for the car. They are thick. Having these examples in mind, what thing or in which situation would you need to thicken something?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. In which situations do you thicken stuff?
When you are preparing food,
I was thinking the same thing. Wow. Okay, tell me about your example.
when you need to take maybe all the ingredients for a cake.
Okay, I was thinking about the cake too. What's happening here? Well, for example, the marmalade, no? The when you cook blueberries to make top a cake, no?
Yes.
The substance gets thickened when you put it in hot surfaces.
Or when you are cooking is the same word as in Spanish, a flan?
Yeah, flan.
Yes, you need to stick the sugar for the cover.
Oh, okay, yes. But okay, this is interesting. Who needs to thicken? You or the sugar?
The sugar.
Eliminate you.
Or when the sugar needs to thick for the cover of the flan.
Watch out, thick is the description. The verb is?
Thicken. Oh, okay.
Thicken.
Sugar needs thicken for the cover of the flan.
Exactly. Very good. The sugar needs to thicken for the cover of the flan. Very good example. That's correct. That's correct. If you are in the medicine world, sometimes blood thickens, and this is a negative thing for you because the substance
Teacher,
gets very. Yes, Sophie.
With the Connie's example, I have a question.
Okay.
These verbs with the suffix "en," you don't need to respect the grammatical rules in the tense rules. For example, sugar is if you use a verb with about sugar, you need to put the s at the end of the verb, right?
Oh,
But in this case, you don't, because it is there. These words are verbs now.
okay. No, yeah, you need to respect these rules. If you speak in present, yes, you need s. In specifically, the way Connie used it was not necessary because she said has to thicken. So the s was in the word has. No. But anyway, if you say, for example, marmalade thickens if you add more sugar. Marmalade thickens if you add more sugar. Yes, of course, I need s for his she.
Yeah, because the example of Connie, she said sugar thicken.
No, sugar has to. Has to thicken. That's what she said.
I say
Or needs to, exactly.
Needs to thicken, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, in this case, the word need is a principal verb. But you are right. You are right. You need the s in these new verbs. They go with the same rules. And actually, it also goes with verbs in past. Thicken and the rest of the verbs that you have in front of you are regular verbs.
Okay.
Right? So what is the past of thicken?
Thicken.
Thickened, exactly, with ed. And in present, thickens. Nice, nice, good observation. All the verbs, doesn't matter if they are composed or not, they follow the same equation. Very good. Very, very good question. So we have the last one, other types of physical change. Let's say that, oh, this is super important. When you are trying to eat healthy, one of the things that you miss the most is sweet stuff, chocolate, sugary stuff. So we find, or we are looking for ways to make our food or make snacks sweet. You're probably familiar with this word. What is the verb to make things sweet?
Sweeten.
Excellent. Sweeten. What sweetens your drink?
Sugar.
Sugar, right? And this type of sweeteners that are super common, like stevia or Splenda, they are called sweeteners in English, which comes derived from the word sweeten, which comes derived from the word sweet. You see? He have, for example, who knows what is ripe? Ripe or unripe? You cannot eat a green banana. You need to wait for the banana to become ripe. Right? This action is to
ripen.
Excellent, Connie. Pronunciation, ripen.
Ripen.
Exactly. You need to wait for the bananas to ripen. Right? And you have, for example, let's say, fresh. What happens if I Google on fresh? Nah. and fresh. No, this is not the one. I want to use the word freshen. Freshen as making something fresh. Oh, okay. For example, when you are using this type of products, freshen the environment. Or chewing gum, when you wash your teeth, you freshen your breath.
Teacher, I have a doubt.
Yes, go for it.
This verb applies when you make like bread. Like, can you say like this bread is freshened?
Exactly, but eliminate
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Eliminate is because it's not the description. This bread freshens.
Freshen. Okay.
As a verb, as an action. Freshen up.
It's what's the name of this type of verbs? I can't remember. The verbs that have, for example, freshen up.
Oh, phrasal verbs?
Yeah, it's a phrasal verb, right?
Can be.
Because
Can
in
be
the
used as
old
a phrasal verb.
example, okay. But if I only said freshen, it's the
It
same.
exists too. Exactly.
Okay.
That's interesting. Sometimes verbs get other words together and they look like phrasal verbs. Sometimes they are not. Sometimes they are only chunks, only like groups of words. And other times they are really, really, really necessary. The second part is necessary. In this particular case, it's just a chunk. It's not. It's just a chunk when it's not necessary to use the second part. And it's a phrasal verb when it's necessary to use the second part.
Okay, it is more like a publicity, I think. It's like,
Exactly. It's
like
more
a plus. So, freshen up.
Exactly. Like the name of the product. Very good. There you have it, guys. Very good. These verbs, were they new for you?
Some of them for me.
Good. Nice. Nice. That's super important that you get new stuff. Oh, you were raising your hand. That you didn't see you there. Tell me it.
No, sir, I didn't know what I did with my iPad. Sorry.
Okay, you were not raising your hand?
No.
Okay. But anyway, remember that you can speak whenever you want. Okay. So we have ripen, moisten, etc. That's it. Let's go to the next one. Okay. The next suffix is the word ify. And I really like this one for some reason. I don't know why. The word ify speaks about a transition too. Okay. Verbs. Again, it's similar to become, to cause something, to do something. And we use precisely the ending ify to talk about a description that transforms into another thing. For example, if you speak about the word, let's say, the noun modification, or the word verification. The word notification, ratification, or precisely the word pure, which parentheses can become the word purification too. Code or classification. Peace. Let's talk about peace. Okay. All these words can become a verb if you use the ending ify. Modification becomes the word modify, which is a verb. Right? To modify something is to give changes to that. And when we are thinking in Spanish, it's very probable that we think in the word modificate using the suffix ate. Watch out, because this is incorrect. Okay. Why is that? When you are talking about ate, you're thinking in verbs in Spanish that finish in ar. Declarar, curar, declinar. Activar, regular, necesitar. So we have activate, regulate, necessitate. So when we think in the word modificar, it's very probable that we will say modificate. This is a very common B2 confusion. Okay. Every time you are thinking in Spanish, it's very probable that we will commit these mistakes, right? Modificate doesn't exist. Make sure the word that you are translating from Spanish is well correctly used. Okay. What is the verb for verification?
Verify.
Very good. What is the verb for notification?
Notify.
Very good. What is the verb of ratification?
Ratify.
Very good. And when you make something pure, like for example, water.
Purify.
Excellent. When you want to make something into a code, so it's make like a little secret, then you are
Codify.
codify. Excellent. And peace. When you make something peaceful, this is a little different. Okay, there's a little transition here. Peace is like love and peace. Don't worry, be happy. And then when you put, for example, do you know what is the name of this in English?
Pacifier.
Very good. How do you know that, Connie?
You say that to us previously.
Cool. Super cool. So here you have pacify. This pacifier pacifies the baby. That comes from the word peace. There you have it. You see? For some reason, I have a special like about the word ify. Every time I see a word with that ends in ify, it's like it sticks to my mind, especially, but I don't know why. Try to find these kind of correlations when you are watching new vocabulary, new words. Okay, and we have a lot of them. From identity, we have identify. From when you speak about a specific thing, you make a specification, you specify. When you make a modification, you modify. When you are certain about something, you certify, justify, qualify, testify, quantify. A lot of words. That's the one. And of course, as you are saying, some of them will be new, others are going to be completely known for you. Okay, any question in FI? No? Do you have any other example? It's kind of a tricky because I used a lot of examples. So don't worry, if you don't have another one, that's because it's probably in front of you. The last one. Eyes or eyes with Z. In this particular course, we cover both American English and British English. This is relevant because when they are writing, some of the writing rules are different, or some words spell different in America, some words are spelled different in England. This specific suffix is one of these examples. In America, we use the Z, but in England, in Europe, they use an S. Every time you open a British book, it's very probable that you will see words ending in ISE, right? For example, Cambridge certifications are British. The exams will contain British spellings. But TOEFL and TOEIC are American. So you will see the Z in TOEFL and TOEIC. This doesn't mean it's incorrect. It's just a different way to speak, a different way to spell, right? But the formation of the word is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Let's talk about the word when you want to make something economy. When you make something electric, you make something into an editorial. Or the word climate, agony. It's very interesting because here you have economy is a noun, electric is an adjective, editorial is a noun, climate is a noun, and agony is a noun. So technically we are transforming nouns and adjectives into verbs. Economy transformed into a verb is to economize. Slash economize with this. What is it when you want to make something electric?
Electricize.
Kinda, you added too much syllables, too many syllables. Electrize.
Okay.
Add one syllable more. Electrize. To editorialize is when books or series of books gets published by an editorial. This is to editorialize something. Next. I bet that you know this one. Climate. When you change, for example, when you visit a different country or a different state, a different part of Mexico, and you feel a different climate, you feel a different weather. Have you gone, for example, you go to Merida, and then in Merida, you start feeling that it's super hot, right? But then after a couple of hours, you start to become or to get used to the climate. What is this word? What is this verb that happens to your body?
Climatize.
Excellent. The interesting thing is that we need an additional A. Acclimatize. For some reason, you need an A before. Because acclimate doesn't exist, but climate is. Very good. And agony, when a person is in agony, the person is, or the person.
Agonize.
Excellent. Agonize. That's the word. Who knows another example? Probably It's knows this one. It's how do you call when you create advertisement of a product?
What?
How do you call when you create advertisement for a product?
Advertise.
Excellent. This is a verb. Advertise, very good. Probably Fer knows this. What is when your HP becomes alkaline?
When you what? Sorry.
When your HP,
Mm-hmm.
no, switch pH. When your pH becomes alkaline, this is?
I know how it is, but I don't know how to say it in English.
Yeah, exactly, because you're thinking in Spanish, no? Yeah. Try to build it, try to build it.
Alkalize.
Exactly. This is a little difficult. The second is correct. Alkalize. Very good. Excellent shot. Excellent shot. Connie, when something is, when you need amortization, when a company needs amortization, it needs to
Amortize.
one extra syllable.
Amortize.
You have an extra syllable.
Amortize. Amortize. Okay.
Amortize. Yeah, similar to what happened to alkalize. Because this is interesting. We add a second syllable, no? For example, in I have here people saying economize. But be careful, there are some syllables that are not necessary.
Okay.
Advertise, alkalize, amortize, and what else? Sophie, if you have alcohol in your blood, you are, or you
Alcoholics?
Again, extra syllables.
No. Alcohol. Alcohol.
Eliminate the whole. Excellent. Close. Alcohol.
Alcoholize. Alcoholize.
Exactly. Alcoholize. Only 3 syllables. That's interesting. We add extra syllables. This is be careful when you are speaking about this or using these verbs, not to use extra syllables. Let's take that as a note. Remember not to add additional syllables. This can lower the speaking and the writing, can use a lot of these words. And yeah, when you are talking about the writing section and the speaking section of the exam, try to use these words. It's like a 50-50. If you use the words correctly, it's a very good score. But if you say alcoholize, that's going to be a very negative point. So be careful of that. And that's pretty much the class, guys. These are verb suffixes in a nutshell. Ate, and, if I, and I's. Okay, make sure you took notes about this because we are going to have a lot of these words in the vocabulary for the next video, right? So watch this. On Monday, we're going to do a little exercise with vocabulary, and then we're going to do the listening part of the class. All right, in this moment, we finished. Very good class, guys. Excellent class, and welcome everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, teacher.
You too. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Very good. All right, so let me stop the
Bye.
recording and let's take with Luis and Chucho. Wait, Chucho, don't go. Do you have to go to school, Chucho?
No, it's a joke.